Hello and welcome to final round coverage from the 2018 Konopiste Open in Czech Republic. We've got a great card for you guys at this first major championship of the year. Big sexy commentary. Give him Paul a shove. It's Jeremy Koling and I am Nate Sexton.
And we might as well just rename the event the Konopiste Open to the Eagle McMahon 2018 show. He has been on fire. He has missed 8 holes from perfection. 16
through
down
54 holes.
Through 54 holes, he's gone 16 down, 16 down, 14 down. He's being chased by Simon Lizotte at a pretty distant margin of 9 strokes back.
I feel good. I didn't get too much sleep last night. I've been super antsy. I'm just ready to get back out on the course and just use my game plan from the past rounds. Just throw the highest percentage shot in front of me and see what happens.
And that's
been working great so far, obviously.
Yeah, I'd say so.
First hole, par 3, 122 meters downhill with OB on the left side. You've seen it before if you've been watching our coverage. You go straight to the drop zone. Paul Macbeth has been haunted by this hole.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can make that adjustment.
Playing for Discmania, Eagle McMahon.
Eagle going with the forehand. I believe that's going to be an FD3.
That's pretty well short.
The second, the Konopiste 2016 champion, Simon Lizotte.
It's really be interesting to see how much Eagle presses today. You know, all he needs to do is shoot 9 down, and
Maybe
he's got it in the bag.
Maybe 5 down.
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
But I think like he said in his interview, it's just game plan. You know?
Right.
And as we've discussed, this course really isn't too punitive. Not a whole lot of OB. So I expect him to put another heater down, really.
Yeah, I think most of us players are making bets on what he would follow up his 16-16-14 start with. And Will with a very wide release there. That looked a bit like a early release, or a late release, excuse me.
2014 European champion, Seppo Paju.
And Seppo has put together a great event so far. Very consistent, very few bogeys. His only problem has been inside the circle missed putts, but if he's going to keep throwing the disc like this, you really don't have to worry much about those inside the circle putts.
Yeah, perfect shot. Seppo's career best finish at a major, 6th place, so he's well positioned to perhaps improve on that.
And Will's going to have a par there from just outside the bullseye. And this might be a good indicator of what we're going to see from Eagle for the day in terms of his aggressiveness. Oh, I mean,
wow.
That's an attack. Even if he had missed it right without drawing metal, good putt there from Simon, he still would have been in bounds, it's downhill, and that's kind of a scary putt. For other people, they might not have that touch and control from that distance to not... Oh, goodness. And just as we said it.
Yeah, Seppo has been dogged by those little 5-meter putts. He's had a few miscues for sure, but, you know, often when it happens, you know, we've all done that, missed on that first hole, but sometimes it can just annoy you enough that it kind of solves the problem, and I hope that's the case for Seppo. Second hole, par 4, going uphill, 169 meters, moving left initially and then straightening back out, actually finishing a little bit back to the right. You got to throw a huge hyzer here, hit the gap, and set yourself up to throw a forehand or a turnover mid-range. Kind of get through this narrow gap and past this last bush to get a putt at birdie 3. That looks perfect from Simon.
And the width that these players are taking this tee shot is kind of surprising. Most people are going to try to cut that corner somewhat tight to get that angle that you'd really like for the second. But Simon and Eagle have so much power that they can throw the wide hyzer. And you see Will, rather, cutting that way too tight there, and that's going to put him in par save territory. And Seppo, in the last 3 rounds, has thrown the ideal tee shot. He's done it 3 rounds in a row now, making the game look like child's play off the tee on this hole, and it really is not at all.
Will going with a pitch up, trying to play maybe a forehand flex. It didn't really flex out, but it's going to be okay. Simon is not in a very good spot. I thought his drive was better.
And there, right there, you can see the penalty. Wow, great recovery shot. Nice angle. That is drifting outside the circle, but from where that was, that is a monumental effort there from Simon.
Yeah, I'd give that easy 9 out of 10. And here is Eagle, a little bit tight. Oh, boy.
He hit 1, 2, 3 things out of his hand, and he's back into the woods. He's going to have to pitch up and hopefully save his par. He's only had 1 miscue all weekend. He took a bogey in hole 4 during round 3 with a really great effort of a putt and kind of a bad rollaway. Other than that, no bogeys on the score sheet.
Seppo with a perfect approach. Eagle does the same, gets up there, but Simon in position. You know, if you're 9 strokes back, you need strokes in a hurry, and he's got an opportunity here to take 2 in the first 2 holes.
And Will with a really poor release of the disc there for his approach. He's going to have to take a bogey, and that is not on the putt. That is on the approach there, and that's a really frustrating stroke.
Oh, and Simon skies it over the basket.
I mean, talking about those opportunities, he's got to make that. He's got to put that pressure on Eagle. I mean, it's 9 strokes. You don't really go in with a ton of hope.
Yeah.
Especially when the player's playing at that level. But you can't make mistakes. There's no mistakes that can be made because Eagle's not going to be making mistakes. Pars aren't going to be doing it, and you can't expect him to take bogeys.
Yeah, if you're in Simon's position, perfection is likely not good enough, but it is your only option.
That's right.
3rd hole, par 5, 319 meters, moving straight ahead, going up to the right, and then finishing back downhill to the left. Right-hand, backhand roller is the #1 play off this tee pad, trying to find this high area of the hill, then throw a big backhand through the gap. Try to get all the way down there to the pin. If you're a big thrower like these guys, there is a possibility of Eagle 3, though it is something truly special to see something like that.
And we had an Eagle on our card with Ricky Wysocki throwing a great roller, huge approach shot, made a putt from outside the circle. He's got 2 Eagles on the weekend of this hole, so it definitely can be done. And Seppo laying down this perfect roller. Maybe I called perfect too soon. Had a good angle at first, but flipped a little bit too early, and that is going to put him in the rough.
Yeah, pretty short and probably a tough stance. Simon looks to be going right around that and still has plenty of speed.
Yep. And that's the benefit of throwing an overstable disc and getting it down early, is that it just wants to stay up and roll for a much longer distance. Do you know what Eagle's rolling?
No. My guess is like FD, but he's famously rolling those D-line FDs. Obviously, that's not what that is.
Nope. And Will really trusting the late turn, the understability of this disc, because he's put a lot of cut on it, but it is doing what it's supposed to.
Wow.
And yeah, that's in great position there.
Oh, yeah, tough stance. You're not kidding me. This needs to sit.
Yeah.
It didn't take much of a skip, which is good news for Seppo. If that goes down there, your angle is gone. There's really no way to reach the basket.
An Eagle throwing through the limbs there. I think he made it around the corner, which is really all he needs, but I don't know.
I don't think he did.
Oh, you don't think he made it around the corner?
I don't think he did.
And that appears to be a very overstable PD2, and is Simon not getting to the short grass?
Skip might have done it, but I mean, he's still looking. What a drive from Will. That is not what you want to do with that drive, though.
The only way to really get there from this angle is a high flip up driver, and pretty good effort, but that's still going to put him 15 meters away or so for the big birdie putt.
And this is eagle.
And again, into the short grass. What a recovery shot.
And no.
Well, again, the forehand is letting him down there. 2 shots in a row. Going back to hole 2. And Will's going to be 1 over through 3 holes.
Oh, close bid there for the eagle. Wow. That would have been a very scrappy birdie from Seppo if he could have made that happen from that drive.
An eagle. Oh my goodness. That is the first missed putt inside the circle for the weekend.
Wow.
The little bit of the human side of Eagle McMahon has been shown here. I was about to call that a guaranteed make, but you know.
So Simon makes up 1 more stroke. And perhaps you know,
the pressure.
It's a tough spot to be, even with a big lead.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, remind the viewers, Eagles never won a major, and this is obviously the best position he's ever been in. So there's some pressure that's definitely associated with that.
Definitely. Hole 4 is a tough par 3. Big hyzer over the top is an available play, or kind of fairway driver up the middle. We're going to see some big hyzers from these guys, as we usually do. Simon, PD2. Hard to tell how it reacted off that tree. Oh, I think I did see it rolling. And Seppo, after chaining out on the high hyzer, goes with the low up the middle play. Kind of surprising because there's no wind.
An eagle with that super wide. What a weapon to have that ability to go that wide, that high, crashing onto the green.
Wow.
That's a big shot there. And with the cut being made, some of the statistics for the course are kind of a little bit different today because we don't have the bottom half of the field putting in a lot of the bogeys that we were seeing from the first couple of rounds. But this hole is actually the second hardest hole in the course, averaging 2.9.
Okay.
Meaning the course is playing easy, according to the scores that are coming in. And Will, nice long effort there.
Yeah, great effort. Simon, after that little roll away.
Oh, wow.
Man, 15 meters uphill, dead center.
He seems to be feeling it.
It does appear that way.
And Eagle, tick for tat there.
He needed that one.
And that's a scary putt. He made that look really easy, but I think Seppo drills that one as well. That putt is missed left side or right side, and you have a bogey putt from circle's edge coming back up the hill.
Hole 5, par 4, 219 meters going to the right. 2 options here. You can play a long forehand or roller to the secondary fairway, or a really high turnover and try to kind of get up here next to the green with the arms these guys have. That has been happening, but it's still obstructed. You can see lots of tree trunks and also a prevailing slope. So even once you get up there close, the upshot is not a given.
And a shout out to Tony Farrow, who earlier in the day got a 2 on this hole. Only 2 of the weekend.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And Simon is reaching for the clouds, but unfortunately he's just going to have to come back down to the ground at some point. Only a mere 590 feet away from the tee.
Man, great angles.
Taking his seat. Oh, man.
When you throw it so high and far that you get the opportunity to sit down to watch your shot,
just listen to the
you're doing
applause.
it right.
Yeah. And eagle once again. No, never mind. I thought that he had overturned that, but what do I know? That's just another Crush Boy exclusive. That is in the range of 2 players in the field. And maybe this guy. Maybe 3.
Seppo, see if he can follow him.
And now that's going to be turned over a little bit too much. I mean, still a great drive. But, yeah, those first 2 are so... to put them in perspective, those are 45 meters further than Seppo's great drive there.
Yeah, they might be. And a better angle, too.
Mm-hmm.
Will with a much more controlled looking pull through there. Not going for quite as much, but I think he found the trees.
Mm-hmm. He's getting punished here. Slow start for Will. He's yet to pick up a birdie. He's 1 over through 4 holes, and if he doesn't watch out here...
Calling for it to hit the tree.
Oh, wow. A really great recovery shot from there. Big sky roller, kind of a prayer there, and seemed to work out.
Here's Seppo. This is a pretty tricky angle to the basket. Got to put that perfect speed and just slide it down. Pretty nicely done. He's going to have a bit of a tester left, but not too much.
He's showing like why he's one of my favorite people to play catch with. He's just so much skill with throwing discs and frisbees and anything that requires flight. He's just a technician at those kind of shots like that. Who are these guys that jump putt their approaches on this hole? That's annoying.
There it is. Will gets his birdie.
A working man's birdie there.
Birdie for Simon. Birdie for Seppo.
Uh-oh. Will, come back.
We'll see.
Oh.
Not today. Too much work to be done.
That's fair. No ring in the chain tradition this time.
6th hole, par 3, 115 meters downhill. One big tree obscuring your shot here. You can go forehand around it or inside it, or you can play a backhand mid-range out to the right, just being careful not to fade too much. There is OB down there on the left side, and the green sometimes can provide a little bit of a skip. That'll work.
Mm-hmm. Simon continuing that hot start with another park job.
Very straight forehand. And that's going to be 8-10 meters maybe.
That hillside really allows for the skips to not get too dramatic there if you throw the forehand. However, the way that the land lies allows these mid-ranges to scoot down, but Seppo landing flat and not introducing too much rim angle, staying on the green nicely there.
And Will needs this to flip quick.
It looks like it's trying. But there you go. Yeah, you see it just drift down the hill, and that's just what they want to do.
Just outside, 11 meters maybe, a little low. Nice putt from Eagle. And Seppo with a just to the right on that putt. Simon cleans up the birdie. And for Eagle right now, when you have these big leads, you know, I've been fortunate enough to have a couple, not as many as I'd like, but there's been a few times where I've been coming down the stretch with a big lead, and you just feel like every birdie is just a dagger to the hopes of anybody trying to catch you. If you can just make birdies, and that's what he's doing now. He's starting to turn it on. He's starting to slam the door a little bit. Hole 7, uphill 93 meters through the tunnel. You can throw whatever your preferred straight shot is here. You just have to kind of get on the disc a little bit. Fairway driver most likely, as it's measuring 93, but probably playing closer to 110, 115.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. When you get in those modes, getting late into the event now, is we only have 12 holes left.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you start getting greedy. Like you start thinking to yourself, Simon is just on fire right now. You start thinking to yourself, like, if I birdied this hole, it makes it more impossible. And like, oh, it'll be fun to have birdied this hole. Like I don't know what it is about having a lead, but the rich get richer.
Yeah.
I feel like in those situations. And Seppo a little bit higher than he's thrown in previous rounds, but yeah, pretty good.
3 great shots so far. And we can add Will to the list of great shots as well. Another birdie for Eagle. I think that makes 4 in a row.
But who's counting?
I was trying to, but...
you. And look at here. Seppo's in. Do you think maybe?
Oh, Eagle's kind of stalking over.
Eagle's kind of been the guy. Yeah,
Eagle kind of, he decides.
Well, it's his tournament right now. There we go, boys.
Nice. Hole 8, par 3, 90 meters straight ahead. You've got your option. You can go backhand turnover or forehand hyzer. 2 trees really are the main problem on this hole. These 2 that are coming into view right here. If you can go in between them, that's ideal with the forehand line. Backhand line, you probably want to go to the right of both of them.
And I got to give a quick shout out to round 3 to Tuomas Huhtainen. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correct.
But I think you did.
I tried my best. He got the hole in one. And Simon, almost the same result as a hole in one, just twice as many.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a hole in one from after he gets up there and putt. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes sense. It doesn't make sense. It's okay.
They know what you're trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And Eagle's there on the green as well. Got a nice skip.
Seppo's been going with his turnover all weekend, and it's worked out pretty well, and I think he'll like the result of that one as well. And Will has had a couple poor forehands so far, and that was not labeled a poor forehand, but with a bad result there, hitting one of the 2 guardian trees that you're trying to miss.
Another 11-meter putt.
And this time he makes good.
Oh, the bird's calling him in.
Oh, man. Where's Will? There he is. A little bit more excited about that one with a good putt there from Will.
Back-to-back shakers. Nice job, guys. Hole 9, par 4, 288 meters downhill. This one you just want to get a huge crush, moving left as much as possible. Set yourself up for a mid-range down to the green. It's a lot better to throw a mid, control the speed, and not have to deal with that out of bounds beyond the basket.
And Simon just unleashes a big flip up here. Not flipping up too much, but getting that right amount of hyzer to put him in the ideal landing zone for his second.
Eagle needs this to move left.
And I don't
Just
know
a little kiss.
if these guys were dealing with the same conditions on chase card. We had a bit of a headwind drafting up this fairway here, and it made those drives that you want to flip up just a little bit more nerve-wracking here with these trees coming in on the right side. And you're seeing Seppo going to come right in and hit the edge as well.
Look out.
Good dodge there from the spectators.
Overall, fantastic weather this year for the Konopiste. The wind was interesting, though. It would be like fairly strong for like a little 3-minute burst, and then it would go away for like half an hour.
Yeah, it wasn't anything that's too annoying. Unless you were putting at that particular moment, it generally didn't bother you too much. The wind was kind of a nice relief in some situations because the conditions was a little bit warm at times.
Mm-hmm.
And look
Seppo with a long shot here.
Wow. He's showing why he belongs in this league card. The putting hasn't been phenomenal. Not even great at times. Some would even say not, I don't know. I don't want to say bad, but it hasn't been great. But his driving off the tee and his approaches have just been stellar.
That's golf, man. I mean, if you're doing one well enough, the other one doesn't have to be that great.
And Eagle's been making this hole look just really not like one of the hardest holes in the course, which it plays to be.
Simon looking at a hyzer approach, likely a putter.
And Simon is going to have that for 8 down on the front 9, just continuing this onslaught of incredibly hot starts that we've seen throughout the event.
Will's birdie effort drifts a little left on him. Beautiful putt.
Is there a putt that he sees that he doesn't just automatically know is going in?
Maybe not this week. I mean, when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. And his putt shows, just how smooth it's coming out, how center it's hitting. It doesn't look like there's a lot of question marks in his brain as he's setting those putts up, which is a great feeling. Will in for par.
And yeah, just like that, Simon has made up a couple of strokes on. I mean, he's got 7 back with 9 to go, but he's doing his best. He's 8 down through 9. It's a pretty amazing start.
It really is. These guys are putting on a show. Come on back, catch the final 9 holes. It's looking like could be a coronation for the bird. You don't want to miss it.